Welcome everyone to a new video in the mission series. And in the mission series we go over the missions that have been in my head for years and years, and we're just getting them out on video, so it's easier for you if you want to find a video or something. You can just browse to the playlist and see if there is a mission that's good for you. This will be the second video in the playlist. If you want to see more, there is a link to the playlist up above somewhere, I hope. The mission for today is a mission with a lot of offense, and it's a very fast game, and it's easy to play in the beginning, at the end, or just as a game in between. So the mission for today is called the radio game. It has its origin in 2009 when we had a small villa that we could play in, and we had a square room with 4 entrances, and we came up with this game. And we're playing it since then. We did some small variations for different fields, but basically it's still the same principle. For this mission, you don't need a lot of materials. You just need your Marshall, you need a radio, a walkie-talkie, PMR radio or whatever to communicate with each other. It can even be a cell phone. You will need 1 respawn point, and you need 1 sheet of paper with all the names of your players on it. And that's it. Now it's getting a little bit tricky, because how to divide the teams is a bit different than on your other typical games. In this game you start with small teams of 3 to 4 players, and it's basically your team against the other teams. So if you go out to the objective with your team, if you get hit you go back to your respawn place, and there is only 1 respawn zone in the whole area, so everybody goes back to the same location. You wait on the location until there are enough people to fill up your team again. So if you play with 3 guys, you wait for 2 guys. If you play 4, you wait for 3 guys. And if your team is filled up again, you go out, and these guys are your new team. From this moment everybody else is your enemy again, and the people in your new team are your new friends. You don't shoot them, but you shoot everybody else. So it's important, if you leave the respawn zone with your new small team with 3 to 4 players, everybody else in the whole field is your enemy. That means that the team that you were playing in previously is now your enemy, and you need to shoot them to get to the objective. So to explain the objective, we're gonna make a playing field again, a rectangular field, that's the easiest one, and we put 1 respawn point on it. Like I said, there is only 1 respawn point. And to make it easy, we're gonna put the radio here. Your objective for your team is to defend this radio and be as close as possible to the radio. Why? Because every 5 minutes a marshal that is off game, the marshal will ask every 5 minutes what team is defending the radio. And that's why the marshal needs a sheet of paper with all the names of the players in the game. So when the marshal is calling to the radio, the team that is defending the radio will answer with giving the names that are currently defending the radio. So all those people get 1 point because they are close to the radio. For example, if somebody died along the way, he will not get a point because he is now playing in another team. To start this game and to make it easy for everybody not shooting each other at the beginning of the game, you just take all your teams and drop them somewhere across the field. Depending on how many teams there are and how big your field is, just spread them out. It doesn't really matter the first points. They will rush the radio anyway. It's just easier if not everybody is in the same location to start with, because they will shoot each other in the back and they will start complaining, and just spread them out at the beginning of the game. You give your start whistle or whatever, your buzzer, and all the teams will go to the radio to try to defend it. And on the way they will start shooting at each other and stuff like that, you know, like a normal airsoft game. From that moment the only respawn point is the one already marked on the map. As I said, this game is individually to win, but you play as a team. So you play this game for let us say 30 minutes or 45 minutes. When the time limit has reached, you just stop the game, and the marshal counts on how many points every player has individually. I'm gonna give you a small example on how the respawn rule works, because that's the part where people get lost. Make the example with 1 team. So you got 1 team with 4 players going out, 4 exits, and this is team 1. And team 1 moves up to the radio. They get in contact and they lose George and Fred. So now George and Fred are dead, and they have to go back to the respawn point. And George and Fred are on the respawn point, and they are waiting for other people to come into the respawn point. The other two members of the team, they made it to the radio, and they are now defending the radio. And after some waiting at the respawn point, there are two new dead players coming to George and Fred, and George and Fred make a new team with the two newly dead people, and they move out to the radio too. And from now on we will call them Team 2. And Team 2 is going for the radio. They destroy Team 1. Team 1 is moving back to the respawn point and from now Team 2 is defending the radio. So now the Marshal will ask who is at the radio. Marshal. Yeah, you get it. And Team 2 will give the 4 names to the Marshal. So that's basically it. And if you play this with 10 teams, it's the same thing with 10 teams. People go to the respawn point, they wait, and they form a new team. If you got any questions about this, just put them in the comments and I will explain it a bit more. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and if you want to see more, there is a playlist with more mission videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!